I've always wanted to feed myself grapes from my own backyard, or maybe even have someone feed me grapes, but I can't do that unless I fix these grapes up. You remember we put these in just a little bit ago, flame seedless grapes here in California, but I just have the foundation setup of a grape trellis. You can't really grow grapes successfully without the trellis. So I have some wire. I want to talk you through the setup because it's actually really simple and you can do it at home to get your own backyard grapes. So we have this fence we put in about 1.5, 2 years ago. The problem though is that the fence is not thick enough to support these bolts, which are actually really cool, and I'll show you in a second. So we cut some small pieces from the extra leftover fence wood and just screwed it in so we have enough meat of wood to screw in these little hooks. And the way that this works is I've got my grape plant right here. This is sort of the main vine, and then you've got some offshoot vines which you can prune, you can not prune. But basically what you want to do is get your main vine onto some sort of wire training system. You'll have the main vine come up this way, and then you'll take lateral shoots across each of these wires that we're going to install. So it's basically like a backyard vineyard setup, albeit a little bit more janky than you would see in an actual vineyard. But these are the hooks that we've decided to use. Really clever. I think we just got them off of Amazon. And basically you have this bolt that kind of goes in to the meat of the wood here. And then you have this little contraption. So I'm gonna unscrew it and kind of show you how it works. It's actually pretty clever. So at first blush, when you see this, you're like, how am I actually gonna get wire on this? It makes no sense. You have a nut here and you have this little contraption. The magic of this is actually in this little Allen insert that you can unscrew. So I can unscrew this, I can thread some wire through this little gap here. So if I unscrew it all the way, this is where the wire will fit through. And then for each of these pieces, I would just come through, jam this down, and you can go really, really tough here because you want to make sure that it's nice and taut. So now this isn't going anywhere, right? This is sort of affixed here. And then you would screw this on to here. Obviously you would do the wire afterwards, so you don't have to spin the whole wire to screw it on, but I'm just showing you before we get the real setup going. So you'll screw this on, and then you cinch this in at the height that you want it at, and voila, now you have a wire, very, very strong braided wire that you can trellis out. So that's the basic setup. We drilled some pilot holes in here to make sure that this will stay in. Now we need to set it up and train the grapes, because Jacques has actually been flexing on me that his grapes are better than mine. They are right now, but I'm building something professional, Jacques. So in your channel, I want to see something at least at this level. Grapes actually is a plant that I thought was hard to grow. I don't know what it is. You see it out in the vineyards. I used to go up on vacation in Northern California. You'd see grapes everywhere. And even in my great aunt's garden, it just felt like otherworldly, like, oh, there's something magical about growing grapes, mostly because of this setup was a little intimidating. But once we put a little work into how exactly a grape trellis was set up, we realized it's actually not that hard. And if you choose the right variety of grapes, they're actually pretty damn easy to grow. The tool we bought, this is why stuff off Amazon sometimes just gets you in the end. This tool, which goes around this little flat part, the tolerance is probably 0.5 millimeter. So when it angles, it catches it at the very end and then it'll slip right off. So we're trying to figure out a way around this. Otherwise, we're gonna have a really hard time screwing this in because I don't know another way. The only other thing I can think of is if you throw this nut all the way down to the bottom and then use the nut to kind of torque the whole thing, but it's not actually interacting directly with the wood. So kind of annoying, but I think what I can do is still get in this piece in the interim. All right, wire one in. We're at a point where I think I can try to get the vine over to the trellis right now. So I'm gonna cut some of the ties that I have here and we'll see if I can do some elite grape surgery. It's a little bit treacherous. I'm a little bit scared because the plant has been growing on this one stake for quite some time. We've got this right here. So this is your main stem, right? So I'm not super pro yet at growing grapes, but I do know that I want to get this over here, grow it up here, and then take laterals out and then sort of prune those and shape those over time. So I'm going to make my first tie here. These types of ties, because you know this plant's going to get bigger, right? And so I leave a loop out and I actually tie a loop on. So it's not perfectly snug. So I'm waiting to get this one up to here and then eventually up to there. I haven't even put that one on yet. But what'll happen, as far as I'm aware, is we're gonna have lateral shoots come out, and that's really how the grape is going to go. So this is, I'd say, pretty weak right now, but since I freed this stake up, what I can actually do So I'll take the stake out of the ground here. No longer needs that support. And I might give it a little supplemental support somewhere here, just so it doesn't move as much. We'll use this interim stake to get the plant a little bit further this way. I think given another chance, I probably would have planted the grape, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 inches closer to the wall, so the training process wouldn't have been as arduous. But I can basically get this much more stretch, and that's not enough to break the stem or anything like that. It's just enough to pull this over here, and actually it's given us a little bit more vertical height here. So for now, it looks really sloppy, I have to say. I'm gonna do some pruning off on these lower ones, but we've gotta get the rest of the trellis set up. Going under the avocado tree here. Oh, did I just get hit? Oh, well guys, look what's forming up for next spring. There's actually, oh my God, there's like 17 avocados above my head. Why plant one? We've tried and failed 3 times. My neighbor has succeeded, and I will bear the fruits of that labor. We have all of the pieces on. Some trials, some tribulations, but it's done. Now, I want to show you how you would prune this, because remember, we have our main sort of stem coming up. We've tied it up. It's going to eventually come up here. We're going to have the side shoots come out. So what the hell am I going to do with this? Nothing, really. Now, I will say this is probably not the best time to prune. It's late summer. I probably want it to be pruning this in like late fall, because you can get a lot of energy from this that's going to help sort of develop the trunk, develop the stem, develop the roots. Just for the sake of example, I will show you what I would do here. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to prune that off right there. I already have a main stem here, so I do not need this one. I also don't need this here, that there. So I'm going to actually remove basically all of this here. So it looks very naked now. You can see where I got the clusters of grapes this year. Actually had some pretty decent grapes, a little bit smaller than I would like, but again, this was a first year planting. So things I would improve for next time, I would not plant it this far away. I think I just wanted some safe space. Turns out that ended up kind of being a little bit of a bad call, because now I have to kind of move it over here. I'm losing this much lateral distance when I could have been going straight up. So I would have planted it a little bit closer to the fence, probably right about here or so. That being said, grape's pretty vigorous, especially this variety in this area. So all I have to do now is train these ones over, but stay tuned guys. This is gonna be a super fun project, especially when it comes to around next spring or so, which just so happens to be when the Epic Homesteading book drops. So I'll leave a link in the description there, kind of showcasing how to build a sustainable urban homestead no matter what your price point. So don't have to go as crazy fancy as we do here at Epic Homesteading. Until next time, good luck in the garden, keep on growing.